In this guided video tutorial, we'll be covering the topic of how to perform inventory counts in the Grindless point of sale. Keeping an accurate account of what inventory exists at your location is important for tracking which items you are low on and should reorder, and for identifying points of product loss or theft. To support this goal, our POS is designed to present staff with a small list of products that should be counted each and every day, excluding weekends. This avoids the need of having periodic inventory days, where staff is burdened with counting a large number of items, which can take many hours to perform, if not multiple days. Instead, the system generates a small list of products that staff are tasked with counting and logging into the system. Each day, the system automatically generates a new list of products that need to be counted, and it keeps track of instances where staff fails to perform this task. The POS determines which products you should count based on an algorithm that prioritizes products that are more valuable than others and products that haven't been counted in an exceptionally long time. It also attempts to group products by category to make the counting process easier. The system runs through multiple steps in order until it has enough products to put on the list. Once it has between 30 and 60 products, it stops and presents that list to staff as the list of products to count for that day. For more information on how the POS determines the list of products, see the related help topic on the Count Inventory screen. Now, we will perform a daily inventory count in the system. Start out by going to Tasks, Count Inventory from the POS. On the left, you'll see some tips about how to use this feature. Below that is a field for entering in a product's barcode number by either typing it in using a keyboard or by scanning it using a barcode scanner. In the center of the screen, you'll see a list of products displayed broken up by category. This is the list of products that the POS has determined to be the most in need of an inventory count. Go through the list and click on each product or scan its barcode. A pop-up will then appear where you can type in how many of that product you have in stock. Continue going through the list and entering an inventory count for each product. While you're entering in counts, you can type in a comment if you need to explain why a certain count might be unusually high or low. Notice that the POS does not tell you how many of each product it expects. This is to avoid situations where an employee will give false counts just to make it appear as though they counted products and there were no issues. It shouldn't matter how many products the POS thinks are there. What matters is what you actually have physically sitting in front of you. Now, if the count is unexpectedly high or low, the POS will indicate this by color-coding that product in the list in either red for low counts or purple for high counts. Keep in mind that it's not always a bad thing if a product's inventory is off. In a perfect world, this would never happen, but over time, mistakes can and do often happen. It could simply mean that the count was off before, and by you counting it accurately now, you've just fixed the problem. If a count is off, a manager can go in and review why it is off later on. The counts you provide are saved as you go, meaning you don't need to click Save, and you can leave and come back to the screen without losing your progress. If you make a mistake while entering in your numbers, you can simply click on that product again and enter the correct count without being penalized. If you happen to notice that a product within a relatively small category is not found on the list, you can scan the product's barcode and give the POS a count for it. Even though the POS gives you a list of products to count, you can scan any product's barcode and enter a count for it. Notice at the top of the screen that there is a message stating that some of the items to be counted are currently marked as having products on order. This means that a manager has placed an order for some of the products found on the list, and your store is currently waiting on those products to arrive. If someone received those items and simply put them on a shelf without telling the POS that the shipment arrived, then the POS would not know to include those products in the inventory count that you're about to perform, and your counts may be off because of that. If you do see this message, it's recommended to double check that there haven't been any shipments that arrived recently and have not been marked as received in the POS. If so, go ahead and mark them as received before proceeding to count products listed on this screen. Once all products in the list are counted, you are all done for that day. The next day, a new list will be generated and the process will repeat.